The UK hospitality sector is facing acute challenges at the moment due to severe staff shortages. The labour shortages we've got at the moment mean that the industry is not able to operate at full capacity, full power, and that's really hard when we're facing into inflationary headwinds and a cost of living squeeze. We've got 10% vacancy rate across the sector as a whole, and that's double the rate that we had pre-COVID. Without those levels of roles being filled, and these are vacancy rates that have been like this for the last year, we estimate that the sector is losing £22 billion worth of revenue, the Exchequer losing £7 billion worth of tax, so it's hitting us all really hard.
Does all of that feel quite familiar? It's been really interesting sitting at the back today, listening to a number of different ways that we can work together to help solve the recruitment crisis, and hopefully this will give a flavour of one way we can do things differently. In addition to what Kate said, there were some stats that I picked out of a CAM survey that was completed in November, and some of these might resonate with you as well. 88% of operators agree that high vacancies are having a knock-on impact on customer service. And ultimately, that's what we're here to do, isn't it? That's what hospitality is all about. 80% say that shortages are impacting the stress and welfare of current team members. And if we want to offer people great careers, obviously that's a really bad place to start. 65% say shortages are impacting sales and reducing turnover. Well, clearly we're here to be in business, so that's not going to do either. However, 96% agreed that we need to do more to attract more talent to the industry. So I think we all agree that there is something that we can do. And on that note, I'm just going to ask you to put up your hand if you haven't supported Hospitality Rising. Okay, hopefully, again, there'll be something in here that will be of appeal to you. So this is what we set out to do with the campaign. It's quite single-minded. It is about attracting 18 to 30-year-olds and helping change their perception of coming to work in the industry. So we are the biggest brand campaign for working in hospitality that you can imagine. And we're going to do that in a way like nobody else has done it before.
There is a shortage of over 173,000 workers in the hospitality sector in the UK. We needed more than a campaign to change that. We needed a movement.
Hospitality Rising is a once-in-a-generation idea that we're actually trying to inspire UK nationals to work in hospitality, and that it is the career of choice where you can not only progress super fast, but you can have a lot of fun while you're doing that role.
As part of my 10X agenda, I wanted to bring together all the agencies in the IPA to tackle one of society's biggest problems. So the whole industry coming together to help the hospitality industry overcome its recruitment crisis.
The thing that really got me thinking was someone said, I used to work in a supermarket and now I work behind a bar, and my 9 hours working in a bar will go much more quickly than 2 hours stacking shelves. And the truth that we latched onto was that you can say many things about hospitality, but it's never boring.
So in terms of the final concept, we used the really iconic line of live fast, die young to bring the really attitudinal part of the campaign to life. The play on that has landed on rise fast, work young.
I like this idea of rising fast. I think it appeals to people, especially the Gen Z of today. They can see the top of the mountain, but they don't really see the path to the top. They want to be there quickly, and I think this industry helps people get there a lot quicker.
The most important thing was to make sure this didn't feel and look like an advertising campaign. So we wanted to represent the diverse range of people in a more modern light, which is why we adopted a CGI artistic approach. We wanted the camera slightly lowered down. We wanted to kind of hero them, to capture the essence and the personality of what these profiles represent.
What we're trying to achieve here is to change perception, not just a campaign, it's actually to people to start perceiving hospitality as this fresh, young, full of attitude sector.
Rise fast, work young. Rise fast, work young. Yeah. Let's go. Exciting, exhilarating, electrifying, lovely rooms give us a thrill, yeah, like we are reuniting, running deep like the sound of rock and roll. From the bars, hotels, cafes and restaurants.
TikTok, Facebook, Instagram and search That's where our audience is spending their spare time. So it's absolutely key that we have a set of assets that are able to engage with this audience in this environment.
When we first saw Rise Fast, Work Young, thought it spoke really well to the audience that we're targeting specifically in the TikTok capacity. We then came up with a strategy that would work in that favour, so making it cool but making it understated, making it relaxed. We want people to believe in what we're sharing with them and not just feel like they're being pumped ads.
It's about time you come back to hospitality, okay?
Oxford have teamed up with Hospitality Rising and are currently hiring across the board.
Guys, I think for the next 2 weeks I'll just be searching for a new job on the Hospitality Rising vacancies.
The first time I saw the campaign, I just smiled. I was so happy and so proud, and happy for the people who work in hospitality, because I felt that it showed them in the light that they are. It was, here we are, we're exciting, we're interesting, we're confident, we're stylish, and you should really want to come with us.
I like that the man has tattoos, and I love the hair from the one woman. I like that they don't have a face. It's kind of like you can see yourself in it.
Doesn't look like an advert. It doesn't look like you're being sold something. I like the way that the different roles in hospitality were kind of represented.
I think what it's already achieved is amazing. So within a matter of days, we've had tens of thousands of jobs that have been posted and thousands of applications for that.
Hospitality Rising.
We're encouraging youngsters, and not just youngsters but anybody, to get into a hospitality career.
We've come as a collective and we've pulled it all together. We've raised money, and I think now we've got to lobby, we've got to try to get more investment, and we probably should look at this as a functioning body to not only solve the hospitality crisis but maintain it, and then maybe it could be something that we can take more internationally.
Wanna have fun? Work for it. Wanna have fun? Learn from this. Rise fast, work young.
20 years of working in marketing, and I can honestly say that it's one of the best pieces of brand and activation and understanding the customer that I've seen. I think that it's exciting, it's diverse, it's positive, and it's exactly the kind of impression that we need to give to young people. So that's the campaign, but how is that working with our supporters? So I'll hand over to you.
For those of you that don't know, Marugami is actually a Japanese brand. It's run by a multi-hospitality brand business in Japan. So it's got 850 Marugami's in Japan, and Toradol, the company that own us, actually have 1,700 restaurants globally. Some of the brands you might know is Walk to Walk that we've got here, but their biggest one is Marugami. So there's 1,250 plus, and we're counting across the whole of the world. So that's mainly Asia. They went over to the US, and then we came over here. So we linked with an investment firm called Capdesia and decided to bring Marugami Europe to London to start with. So you can, in 2022, we decided to come in. So you can imagine we were building this brand in our bedrooms on Teams. So by the time we managed to get open, it was summer 2021. But just to tell you a little bit about the business, it's we call ourselves fast casual, so we're not quite QSR, we're not quite casual dining. So as you come in, it's kind of a bit like IKEA. You grab a tray and you can see your udon being made fresh in front of you. So we need qualified, experienced people to be making that fresh udon noodles. But then you also need front-facing people to be able to take your order where you choose your udon. We've got tempura chefs. They fry in the tempura in front of you, and that's served to you on your tray. You pick your extras. Everything's kind of self-served from there, and then you're served at the till. So it's not table service, but we do need a strange variety of team members there. So we can't put ourselves into that QSR, where it's low skill. We can't put ourselves into the restaurant where chefs and waiters and waitresses. So that was one of the challenges we had, is that everybody cooks, everybody serves. It's a very strange setup. So that was one of our challenges. And then just to give you a brief example of why I think we're a good case study for Hospitality Rising. Like I said, we started our business. We landed in summer 2021. Opened our first site in Liverpool Street. We started with, I put 5 dojo. Dojo is what we call our head office. We had 5 head office employees. We had 8 tenchos, which is Japanese for manager, and 45 chimu member, which is chimu is Japanese word for team. We've now got 10 sites trading. As we speak, we're opening number 10. 12 more planned this year, and the expansion plan's huge. We've got 100 more planned before 2026 across Europe. So now, after just over a year, we've got 20 people in our head office Dojo team, 30 managers and over 450 team members. So we've had to do that in just over a year. The challenges that we faced, we were an unknown brand, so nobody knew who we were, so how were they going to apply to work with us or know what they were applying for? So it wasn't like we had the numbers that were coming in applying for jobs. We also had the new open stress. I don't know if this resonates with anyone here, but when you open a new restaurant, it's tough. Everybody's brand new, no one knows what they're doing. You get that staff churn anyway. That was our whole business. You know, very sad to say that even when we were managing to get them in the door, we were struggling to keep them. It was really tough. At that point, we'd only been open a couple of months, but if you turn that figure into an annual one, I think our turnover was about 250%. It was scary. And, you know, this was at a time when there was labour shortages across the whole industry. We were in the middle of a recruitment crisis. I'm sure, you know, you've heard about it the whole day. So we weren't able to trade 7 days a week. So I think when I joined just over a year ago, we had 2 sites open. One was trading 6 days, one was trading 5. We had 2 new store opens coming at us that we needed about 40, 50 people for. We needed to find them. So I needed to, over the next year, recruit 30 managers and 400 team members. So yeah, we were struggling. When we signed up to Hospitality Rising at about that time, it was around the time I joined, just over a year ago. But now, yeah, we've done it. We've recruited over 400 people this year, and I'll be recruiting another 400 over the next year or more. The staff turnover has more than halved. So if you look at our 5 restaurants that have been open just under a year, the turnover for them is about 75%, which is fantastic, going from 250. So we're getting there. We also measure team NPS. So that's at the highest it's been so far. And just to give you an example here of one of the things that I think is great about Hospitality Rising. I mean, when we joined, we didn't know, I'll be honest, exactly what we were going to get out of it. It was, you know, Mark's idea. Let's all get together, let's try and fix this issue. But one of the great things we have got is access to a jobs board. Now, just to give you an example, this jobs board, we've put a kitchen porter advert up for High Street Kensington. Indeed, which is the biggest one out there, it's the main one for everyone, right? We've got 21 applications. On our company website, we've got 8. We're still not that well known. But Monster got us 12, so I think that's really good compared to Indeed and the fact that it's a free thing through Hospitality Rising. Now, finally, I just wanted to finish on a little bit more of a personal note, and the reason why I myself am behind Hospitality Rising. This is my son, this is Aidan, he's 16, and accidentally, I suppose, we have done what Hospitality Rising has been trying to do his whole childhood. So, you know, his dad worked in hospitality, I do, he was brought up, sat in restaurants, his aunts and uncles work in the business. He can see that they've had that development, the progression. He knows that it fit around my life when I was bringing up him and his brother. So when he became an age of 16 last year, when he was looking for a job, the first thing he thought was, I'm going to go work in hospitality. So he's now a busser and a host, and it's his first job. And I think that just sums up what hospitality is, and that is what Hospitality Rising is trying to do. We need more Aidens, we need more of my son. So yeah, I mean, we've had chef shortages for so many years. We've just heard about the fact that we have to spend thousands and thousands bringing them in from other countries. Hospitality Rising is trying to grow our own. And as an industry, the hospitality industry, we've come together so many times. We're a great bunch of people. I mean, think of the pandemic with, you know, Feed the NHS. We can come together collectively and solve this problem, and that's what Hospitality Rising is trying to get you to do.
So we've got this amazing campaign, we've got some amazing supporters, so I just thought I'd tell you a little bit about the results, because 12 months ago we were selling hope, and now we can sell you some evidence that it works. Here's a little snapshot about what's been happening on the B2C campaign. So far, through our activity, we've had 65 million impressions on digital. So that's the number of times it's appeared in somebody's social media or on somebody's screen through displayed advertising. We've had 12 million, it's 12.5 million TikTok impressions. Again, that's specifically the number of time it's landed on on TikTok. And because that's paid amplification, we know that that's 18 to 34-year-olds. So I'll tell you what, that's 2 million UK nationals on TikTok, and that's 15% of the population 18 to 34-year-olds. So that's really targeted, making sure that we are cutting through to the people that we want to see this campaign. And we've had to take a different tact with TikTok. There is no pumped advertising. This is working with creators to create content that is going to appeal to those people. And the content that appeals most is content created by people that already work in hospitality. And we're seeing that's been really effective at driving people through to the jobs board. Just a quick one, I thought this was quite nice. If you know Mark McCulloch, he's always thinking a little bit ahead. And as I was thinking about getting up to speed 6 weeks ago when I started, he was thinking about The Apprentice and Love Island. And we thought it would be great if we deployed some of our creative on Twitter advertising during the TV programmes, because what we found was a nice little bit of insight that said, although young people are mostly on TikTok, where they actually go to join a conversation is on Twitter. And we went to Smithfield, who are our agency, and they said a good performing advert on Twitter would get about 0.5% engagements. Our Apprentice adverts had 10% engagements, and our Love Island 9% engagements, so 20 times higher than what would be considered a good benchmark. So getting the right creative in front of the right people at the right times proved to be really powerful for us as well. Quickly onto the jobs board, again supported by our partners at Monster. We've had 287,000 views of jobs on those pages, and we've had 72,000 applications that then go through into our partners' applicant tracking systems. The people supporting us have posted 43,000 jobs, so about 50-60% of the operators with us are posting jobs on the jobs board. Many are supporting because they just want the industry to, they wanted to join the campaign. And we're getting about, it's actually 4,200 applications each week. We've got a host of supporters, many of whom are in the room today. And so what we are asking is that you support those operators and the campaign in supporting us. So what next? We're nearly halfway through year one. We're strategizing on year two, but for the rest of this year, it's about keeping that campaign going, keeping the momentum going. We're fundraising at the moment to get an extra burst of activity targeted at education leavers in May and June, so people leaving school, college, undergrad courses to hopefully drive them into hospitality careers rather than elsewhere. And it is your chance to get involved now. And you can ask me more about this later or contact us, but because we're halfway through the year, we've prorated the cost to join. So it's £5 per team member for the rest of the year, and the jobs board that Nikki mentioned, you'll get unlimited access to that, as well as being part of this phenomenal campaign and joining in your peers in supporting hospitality. Thank you very much. Happy to take questions.
How much are you hoping to raise? Cutting to it.
Yep.
What's the number you're trying to get to? Is there a number?
There was a £1 million target for the first year. Well, actually, what we said was, this is what we could do with £1 million, this is what we could do with £5 million. And I think that £1 million pot is still achievable. So in this last phase, we're looking at about £100,000.
Thank you. I think we're going to leave it there, but if you have any more questions for Jonathan, please grab him afterwards. It's fantastic. Congratulations on the campaign. I think it's something everyone should get behind. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.